Hollywood, Nollywood and Bollywood, names that capture the global identity that various countries have made for themselves through the film industry. Now, Kenya's film industry is also growing, and with it a whole new generation of filmmakers. David Tosh Gitonga, I didn't know I didn't know there was a name that David existed. Tosh is a Kenyan film director who participated in a film workshop that resulted in one of the most popular recent Kenyan films. That's Nairobi Half-Life, which was his debut feature. He's also worked as an assistant director on The First Grader. That's a film that featured, or that was based on the true life story of Kimani Marube, which won the Feature Film Audience Award at the Durban International Film Festival in 2011. Tosh is here to share with us his story. First things first, what makes a good film?
Wow. A lot of work. I mean, people think... I've come across a lot of people who think making a film is just like they associate it to taking photographs, like it's just taking a picture. But there's a lot of hard work when you're making a film.
All right. And the reason I'm saying what makes a great film is because Nairobi Half-Life is without a doubt one of the biggest or greatest films according to every Kenyan who's watched it. And I'm told we have it actually, that's what's showing on a split screen currently. Tony, tell us how do you select actors and how much are they a part of a movie's success, given the fact that when we look at Nairobi Half-Life, for instance, a huge number of the faces are actually new actors and actresses. How much of a factor are they?
I mean, it's important. You have to, actors have to be able to understand what they're doing when they're acting. And when you act, is you're taking up a character. You know, you as Terian, you're going to play a character of somebody else, and that is why most successful actors get into a lot of work in trying to understand what the character is, doing a lot of research into it, so that you become. So you're not trying to be something, but you become that person.
Okay. Now, you're a director in a film crew in Africa, and I'm just curious, how did you start out?
Wow, I mean, I actually did marketing in school, and in 2002, my aunt used to be working for, I used to work at BET in Hollywood. I had just come back, and she wanted to do some, create local, at that time local productions were not really there, and she wanted to make some local movies that we really enjoyed. And so I went to work with her for some internship, and then I just got into it. I loved it. We had 18 hours every day. We worked from 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. and we'll still wake up the following day at 6 a.m. and not complain. So I knew this is what I want to do.
How about in terms of costs, specifically because if there's somebody out there who wants to get into the business of film, how much of an investment do they need to think about?
I mean, the film business is expensive, no doubt. I mean, there's a lot of elements that have to come together for us to make a film. And in Africa, so to speak, we've been suffering because Africa has been used to Hollywood and outside films, apart from Nollywood, that tried their own way, in their own cheap way, and they got a following. But across Africa, we're used to films that are from Hollywood. So we're not used to taking on our own. So it's not a tangible business, so to speak. You cannot go to a businessman and say, can I have some money to make a film? It'll come back. But on the other end, if it grows, I mean, Africa is made of 1 billion people. And as we know, the economy is growing. So there's a huge future for our business. Like in India, they make these films. We're headed that way. So there's a lot of hope.
All right. And I guess that explains why Kenyan films, especially on the big screen, are so rare. But I'm just curious, can one make money from being a full-time filmmaker? And I'm asking this knowing that you, of course, double up in commercials and other sorts of production. Can one make a living out of film production? I
mean, we like saying the people who are in this industry are in it for mostly the love. There's a lot of people in the film industry who are struggling through it, but they love it so much that they'd rather keep struggling until we see the light at the end of it, at the end of a tunnel. But at the moment, it's growing. It's going towards that. We have to do, you have to be diverse. You have to do a lot of stuff to be able to, you know, go through it. You can't just focus on saying, I'm a filmmaker, I'll make movies, and it's not there yet. Mm-hmm. So you can't lie to yourself. So you have to develop, do commercials, infomercials, documentaries, you know, all this stuff that is in the same field that keeps you going and also gives you a lot of practice along the way.
Okay. And Nairobi Half-Life was, of course, very successful, but in business they say you cannot have a piece of the top without having a share of the bottom. What would you say are some of the tough moments for you as a filmmaker? Well,
I mean, it's putting projects together. I mean, like we made Nairobi Half-Life in 2010, came out in 2012. I haven't still put out another film because it takes time to put the funds together, to put the whole film together. So that's where the toughness comes. Like I like doing stuff. I like, you know, churning them out. I've always had this dream that, you know, we can make our own Hollywood here, you know, and we can build that we're making films and making TV shows that people can relate to all the time. So those are the tough points that we're facing at the moment.
All right. Given your experiences in film, if you were to start out today as a brand new filmmaker, what would you do different?
Wow, if I'm to start today, I think the formula is still the same. You know, at the end of the day, you have to put in that extra hard work, understand what you want. Now, the person starting today has even a wider platform because we're going digital. More content will be required. So it's just to look ahead, what will be needed. You know, we need a lot of, if you look across Africa, people, I mean, they watch these Hollywood shows, Candle and whatnot. Why? But it's because they're well done, they're well developed, they're entertaining at the end of the day. That's what we need to do here. We need to start making shows, put time into it, develop your project, and, you know, chances are if you don't like it, nobody else will.
All right. And we are hoping to see your name in the Oscars one of these days along with our famous Kenyan Lupita Nyong'o. Well, we're taking a short break now. Of course, we've been talking to Tosh Gitonga of Film Crew in Africa, the man behind Nairobi Half-Life. Well, in just a moment, we'll be back with more from Citizen Business Center, including what they call the rich habits and the poor habits. What are you? Take your lane right after the break.